Alright, so in this video I'm going to cover how to make an interactive PDF inside of Adobe InDesign. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I already came with a bunch of logos here, and I'm just going to choose one of the logos and make that my kind of my go-to. So I'm going to go ahead and use, we'll say this one here. So I'm just going to grab that, and I'm going to hit Control-C, or it'll be Command-C, just so that it's in my clipboard, if you will. So I'm going to do File, New. File, new document, yada yada. I don't really like the picas. I'm going to switch it to inches, but we want to basically do an 8.5 by 11. If you go to print, just do letter here, and if I switch it to inches, you'll see it's 8.5 by 11. Orientation is obviously going to be portrait, not landscape. I'm going to turn off facing pages. That just makes it so that there'll be pages vertically, but there won't be like page side by side. The rest of this is fine. I'm going to go ahead and create. Alright, so I'm going to end up with this, and here we go. So you're going to want to set up a bunch of things with this, but for now what I want to do is I'm just going to set up it initially before we put work in. So the idea is that this would be like a portfolio. What I'm going to do is I have a bunch of pages, so I'm going to have this page 1, then there'll be page 2, so on and so forth. I only have the one, but I'm gonna use the master here. So I'm gonna double click on the master. I'm in the Pages tab here. If it doesn't show up, just go to Window, Pages, and it will show up. So anyways, I'm gonna double click on the master. So I'm gonna double click on the masters here, and now I'm on this one. Now whatever you do to the masters will automatically apply to any of your sub pages. Right now I only have the one, and that's fine. So but I'm inside the masters one. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit Control V, and I have my little logo here, and I'm just gonna put it on the bottom. All right, I'm just gonna have this at the bottom of every page. All right, let's do this. Let's do object. Let's see. There should be a line. Maybe something there. Layout. Whatever. Maybe I can do it here. Right click, and let's see. I don't know where the line is. Oh, right here. Well, anyway. So there you go. So there's my logo, but put your logo on the bottom. And then I need to do a next button and a previous button. So to make that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rectangle tool, and I'm going to choose no stroke. And for the color, I'm just going to like click on one of these. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to click the little swatch to make a new swatch. You see it made a new green one. I'm going to double click on that. And I'm going to switch to RGB just because I understand it better. And I'm just going to make it like a mid-gray. So if it goes out of 256, let's do 125 by 125 by 125. And that'll make it basically perfectly gray. And I'll hit OK. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw a little arrow over here for my next button. And I'm going to Control plus plus plus. Oops, Control Z. Control plus. All right. And you see we have our little shape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the pen tool. I'm going to hover right right on the side here. I'm going to hold Alt and middle mouse button. Okay. I'm going to click right here, and that didn't work. So let's click back on it again, and pen tool. Okay, now it's highlighted. So now see the little plus pops up. I'm going to put one there. I'm going to put one up here, and I'm going to put one here. Okay. So I had 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to switch to my direct select tool. It's the A button, and I'm going to select this middle one. Just going to kind of pull it straight out. Now you can make your next button. I would not make it like this. Do something different, something more unique, something interesting. I'm just doing an arrow piece just to show you. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull it kind of up and over. I'll take this one kind of up and over, and it looks like that. And then I'm just going to write, well actually, so we'll say, imagine I spent a lot of time and it looked really nice. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to shrink it up a little bit. I'm going to take that and I'm just going to duplicate it. If I hold Alt, you'll see a little double arrows come up, or Option on a Mac. And I'm going to hold Shift. I'm going to bring it over here. There it is. And then I'm going to go over to the side here. I'm going to hold Shift as, see how it turns into double arrows? Hold Shift so that it goes in increments. Oops, didn't quite finish it. Boom. Okay, so now it's going in that direction. And I'm just going to move this over a little bit like that. And then I want to write next and previous. So I'm going to go to my text tool here, and I'm just going to use Arial Black, and which is fine. Arial Black. Alright, I don't understand what's going on there. Arial, and then Arial. I guess it shows up down there. Okay, so Arial. And I'm going to just click a little box down here, and I'm just going to write next. And I'm just going to click and drag over it, and instead of black, I'm just going to choose white, because I want mine to be white. Oops, cancel. I'm going to click up here to get that tool, and I'm going to double click on this little side here, and I'm just going to use the arrows and move it up and over, Control++, and I'm going to hold Control as I click and drag this. Great. Okay, so I'll say next, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Alt again, click, and I'm going to hold Shift as well so it stays on the same line, like that. And then I'm going to double click inside of it, and I'm going to write prev, maybe for previous. Okay. And double click on that, and I'm just going to move this over. So there we go. So we got previous and next. Okay, so I got the two here, and it looks pretty good. Okay, so I basically got my two buttons and my logo in the front, or in the middle. Okay, so this will be in the bottom of every page. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this whole chunk like this, and I'm just going to go to Object, and I'm going to group it, just so it becomes like one piece. Okay, so that way this whole thing will act as one button. I'm going to do the same thing here. So Object, Group. Good. So now I got this one, and I got this one. Now what I need to do is actually make them functional buttons. So I'll select this one first. I'm going to go to Window, and we're going to go to Interactive, and I'm going to go ahead and go to Buttons and Forms. Alright, so I have this selected, and you'll see up here it says Type. Type, I want it to be a button. And then the name, I really don't care at this point. You know, we'll write next, just so. And then the event is on tap, on release or tap. You can switch it to click, but I think on release or tap is probably better because that way it'll work for mobile. Now I can add an action. So when I click on this, what will happen? So I click on this, and we can go ahead and you can see they have a bunch of different options. You know, go to a URL. Clear form, go to page, yada yada yada. We just want to go to next page, right? Pretty easy. Great. Now if I wanted to change this for rollover and click, I can do that as well. I'm not going to do that right now. Maybe we'll cover that in class, and it's just like that. Okay. So I'm just going to put this over here, and I'm going to go ahead and select this one and do kind of the same thing. I'm going to select it, click button, and we'll call this one previous. And again, we'll leave it on that. And the action, I want it to go to the previous page. Boom. All right. And I can close out of that. And now what you'll notice is if I go to my first page, you'll see it actually has that. But watch what happens. Because it's on this master page, every time I make a new page, however many there may be, it will always, every one of these has that same thing because it's based off of a master. It's more or less like a template that all of the pages are made out of. Okay. Now you're going to want to package this like you normally would in all of that business, but one of the things that you need to make sure that you do is that when you go to package this, it'll make it a PDF, but it's a PDF for print. It's not a PDF for interactive media. So if you actually want to preview it, they do have a window here, interactive, EPUB, ePublishing interactive. You can hit play, and then you can actually like click, although it's not going to look like it's doing too much because we didn't put anything on these pages, but it will allow you, actually you can see the page down there, so it will allow you to basically preview it. Okay, but if you want to actually view it, like have the full thing, you're just going to go to export, so file, export, and then you'll see a bunch of options here. You want Adobe PDF interactive. I'm just going to write interactive example, and the defaults are fine. Export, whatever. I don't really know what I said, but I'm just going to go with it for now. And if I scroll down, you can see there's the next button. If I click on that, it goes to the next page. See that? Click on next, goes to the next page. If I click on previous, it goes to the previous page. Alright, so it totally, let's see if I can make this, so you can see it actually working. Here we go. So I'll click next. Next, you can see the bars moving here. Previous, right? Totally works. There you go. So you have your buttons. Now, if you want to add a little more pizzazz to these, we can do is I'm going to go back to master. Make sure you do it on the master so it applies to all of them. I could, on this, you can see it turn into a little button, see a little icon there. Go to Window, Interactive, and go to Buttons and Forms, and you'll see it'll pop up. And then you see there's rollover and click. Rollover is if I hover my mouse over it, what's going to look like. Click is when I push down on it. So I'm just going to do it to the 1 so you can see how to do it. But if I go to rollover and I go to click, you'll see it automatically will create like 2 new sets. On rollover, whatever I do to this, that's what's going to look like when it's rolled over. So while I'm on this rollover layer, I'm going to select it. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and change the color. There it goes. I'm going to make a new swatch. And I'm going to make this just kind of dark. So what I did, 125 before. I'm going to go ahead and do 100 when I roll over. 100 and 100. Okay. And okay. And you're going to see that didn't do much of anything. What the heck? Why did you not? Oh, it's on CMYK. That's why. RGB. Sorry. 100, 100, 100. And hit okay. Okay. So it's dark gray. And then when I click on it, I'm going to go again to the fill here. And I'll just click on, I guess we'll say this one, make a new one, double click on that, and, oh, sorry, on RGB this time, and we'll do 150, 150, 150, alright, so that'll hit OK, and it'll be lighter gray. So when it's normal, it'll be this mid gray. When I roll over, it'll be a little bit darker, but when I press on it, it'll turn lighter gray. And just to give you an idea of what that's going to look like, I'm just going to use the preview thing. Hopefully it'll be big enough. The default is like so small. Oh, okay, sorry. Let me click on that. Ah, crap. Hang on a second. Because I was on the master page, it was upset. Alright. Window, where are you? Interactive. Boom. Okay. You can't see it, it's so small. Let me see. Yeah. But basically, when you hover over it, I'll just I'm just gonna export out real quick so you can see it. Export, and that's fine. Save. Yep. Export. Yeah, that's fine. And let's see. Control minus. Now watch. When I hover over it, you see it gets a little bit darker. Can you see that? And when I push on it, see how it turns lighter? So basically, the button will act kind of like a button. It has a hover and a click version of it. Now, if you want to add even more pizzazz to this, another thing you can do is, I'm going to go to the master again. So double click on the master, and I'm going to go to Window, and again on the interactive section. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. I don't really know how the bookmarks work, but you can add other things like a hyperlink, like if you have a website, you can add that in there. You can add some animation to things, and we can actually even add, we'll do the animation thing. So I'm going to do, again, I'm just going to use the next button as an example. I'm going to select the next button. I'm going to go to Window, and I'm going to go to Interactive, and go to Animation. And then you'll see that there are different animations. Okay, so the name is Next, because we named it in the button. And there's a bunch of these preset animations. And so, basically, I'm just going to do Fly from Left. Is that what I want? Okay, now I want to do Fly from Right. Fly from Right. And it's a pre-made animation where it's going to come from the left and move into the right as it happens in. I can change the time, or how long it takes, when it plays. There's, let me see, there's ease in and ease out, if you know animation, that's a thing. And right now on the event, it's on page load. So I can do it on click, so when I click, it does the animation, or on click self, I'm not sure what that is, but I can make these things happen. Right now, as soon as the page opens, it's going to play the animation. Okay, so that's something you can do, and so that's kind of cool. So I'm gonna leave that one alone, but you can kind of play around with these settings. It's kind of cool. And there's another thing we can do. Go to Window, and I'm still on Master, right? Yep. Interactive, and then we can also do this page transitions. And what that'll allow us to do is we can. Oh, I wonder if I have to. Oh, you do have to have the pages individually. I'll do it on the first page here. I can do a transition, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a dissolve. Okay, so it'll, I don't really like that. Let's fade. Let me see. Okay, if you hover over it, it previews it. So we'll say like that, and speed, we'll say medium. Okay, like that, and then I can go, and you can see this little, let me pull this down. See this little thing right here? That means that there's a transition. So when this page opens, it's going to play that animation first. So I'm going to do it to this one too, so you can see it. Interactive page transitions, and I'm just going to do it again. I'm going to do fade as well, again on the second one. So this little icon popped up. Now, let's go ahead and publish this again so you can kind of see. Some of these are kind of cheesy. Honestly, I probably wouldn't do the fade thing or this little animation coming in, but, you know, it's something that you might want to play around with. And we'll go ahead and save, and yes, and export, and yes. Okay. And, okay, so you didn't really see the transition because, but watch, if I click next, see how it didn't do anything? Pretty cool, right? Some of these only work if it's a, I'm sure someone's refreshed. If it's saved as a SWF, I think this might work if it's viewed in certain things. So they didn't really, none of that stuff really worked. All right, well, that's something that you can do too. So, all right, yeah, so that's basically the sums of it. The only thing I really care about is that you make buttons that basically work, and you put the logo on the bottom there, and that should all be good and fine and dandy. All right, so good luck.